The word marriage is society's universal, civil, and legal acknowledgement of a loving relationship. The same legal and civil recognition that my late husband Irwin and I enjoyed throughout our almost 40-year marriage. Next week will be the 13th anniversary of his passing. And when I go to my synagogue to say my prayers during that service, I know that the bill we are considering today is from my rabbi and my fellow congregants, and for their right to practice our religion as each of them see fit. We've heard from our constituents, our neighbors, and our friends about how the law treats same-sex couples differently than it does opposite-sex couples. We've listened to hours upon hours of heart-wrenching testimony in both houses of the legislature about how the civil union law does not work and ends up marginalizing same-sex partners and their families at the time when the law's protection is needed most. Today, with the passage of this bill, we will be taking a step in the right direction to correct this inequality. It's time for New Jersey to get on the right side of history and enact true marriage equality for every one of our residents. I recognize that this bill has its detractors, some in this very room and some right down the hallway. The detractors who would fight the inevitable, I repeat, inevitable march of progress on marriage equality, and they might be fighting it for personal and maybe even political reasons. They claim religious exclusivity on the institution of marriage, as if people cannot be married outside of the church, or as if any one denomination has sole dominion over the sanctity of marriage. They hide behind a veil of family values and cite fears that a marriage equality law will require them to address the seemingly controversial issue of homosexuality within their own families. If you don't believe in gay marriage, don't enter into a gay marriage. It's really as simple as that. Because when it comes right down to it, the marriage of two committed, consenting people in love, be they straight or gay, should make zero difference to the rest of the world. The bill absolutely maintains everyone's rights to adhere to the tenets of their individual faith and exercise their own religious freedom and preserve the rights of the individual over the mandate of the majority. Who are we to say that basic equal rights should be denied to any class of citizens simply because we're uncomfortable with the nature of their relationship? The state should not be in the business of legally sanctioning homophobia. We should not be in the business of legally sanctioning homophobia by conferring separate but equal status to the legal recognition of a union between two people. And that's what the perpetuation of the civil union law amounts to. Government-sanctioned, legally justified homophobia. We need to recognize that objection to marriage equality is not steeped in conservative values. It's steeped in prejudice. To those who may still be on the fence, I urge you, I implore you to join with us on the right side of history and support this bill today. It is not enough to say we will put the idea on a ballot and let the will of the people direct us. The will of the people is on display in this chamber. We were elected by the people to represent their interests and lead, not to abdicate leadership and cut and run when the job gets hard. Subjecting the equal rights of same-sex couples to the whims of the majority and to the multi-million-dollar campaign which will inevitably precede the vote from the special interests nationwide intent on preserving the status quo. To me, that's offensive and unprecedented. New Jersey has never adopted equal protection and rights for people through initiative and referendum. In fact, the last time it was tried, in 1915, voters rejected a woman's right to vote by a 2-to-1 margin. Women didn't get the vote until the adoption and ratification of the 19th Amendment in 1920, achieved through congressional action and ratified by the New Jersey legislature, not the voters, and it was ratified in February. And this year, it'll be about 92 years this month. So I ask each of you to look into your hearts and follow your consciousness on the issue of marriage equality. Will you side with institutional prejudice, social injustice, and cultural inertia and vote this bill down? Or will you recognize, as I have, and as others in this chamber have, that people should be judged by the love in their heart and not the gender of their love? For my part, I will cast my vote for love. I will cast my vote in the names of my grandchildren's uncles, Nelson and David. I will cast my vote in honor of my good friends, Stephen and Daniel, and Jane and Pam, and yes, one of our colleagues right across the hall, Tim Eustace and Kevin Williams. I will cast my vote in honor of my cousin, Stephen. I will cast my vote for the Holden and Galluccio family, for Madison, Adam, and for their loving grandfather. And most important, I will cast my vote in honor of my grandchildren, Shayna and Jonah, who should be able to grow up in a world in which love, not fear and hatred, is the law of the land. Mr. President, in their honor, and the many, many New Jerseyans who would enjoy equal rights under this legislation, I gladly move this bill.